I want to know what the hell is going on.
3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
Welcome to Screen Share and Chill, a podcast about movies. We're a trio of friends that likes to force each other to watch movies. I'm Kelly.
I'm Keith.
I'm Jamie.
Welcome. Happy Franksgiving, everyone.
Happy Franksgiving.
Franksgiving. Really? We did all this based off of such an obvious wordplay?
Yes.
Franksgiving.
We're easily amused. Have you not figured this out already?
I think we were just looking for a reason to watch Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. It had some hotness around it, so...
And to be clear, this is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yes. The new one.
Yeah, is
the brand new one.
Is that part of the title? Is it technically Guillermo del Toro's
I mean, it's a
Frankenstein?
It's how you differentiate it, certainly. You can't just say, I watched Frankenstein.
Yeah. Which one are you watching?
Yeah, which one? You got to narrow it down.
Yeah, you guys said to watch New Frankenstein. I like the part where he sings, what is it, Putting on the Ritz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
Define New.
That's Young Frankenstein. My bad. Did I watch the wrong movie?
Or you could say the one with the heartthrob as Frankenstein. That doesn't happen very often.
That is very true.
I mean, what was it? Robert De Niro was one?
Not a heartthrob.
That might be the closest. Yeah, I was going to say, like, I don't know if I'd call him a heartthrob, but that's probably as close as we've gotten. Mm-hmm. Wherever did that thing come from with Frankenstein and the fucking bolt sticking out of his neck? Who started that?
That's from the 30s.
Yeah, the original monster movies, though. What do they call them?
Why's he got a bolt sticking out of his...
And a square head.
He has two
Put
bolts.
that there.
Two bolts sticking out of his square head.
Yeah.
And it is officially not part of the title. It's just Frankenstein.
Yes, it says a film by Guillermo del Toro.
Okay, so it's not like Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. I know that both of you have expressed that you have a lot of appreciation for Mr. Del Toro. When you say his name, is it Mr. Del Toro or is it Mr. Toro?
It would be Mr. Del Toro.
Yeah, Mr. Del Toro. And
that's what I thought.
That is what I say when I say his name, because every time I go to say Guillermo, I do the same thing that you just did, so I try to stick to Del Toro.
Dude, I'm as white gets. I'm from fucking the Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I hear news broadcasts on TV, that's what my family sounds like at home, so... Guillermo del Toro. So what are your favorite movies from him? Or tell me some of your highlights of your appreciation for Mr. Del Toro.
For me, it would be Blade 2 and Pan's Labyrinth are my two favorites that I've seen of his. But he has
Blade 2?
Yeah. He has a huge body of work, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah, I didn't realize how many films he had done, because most filmmakers, they have, like, I don't know, 10, 15, because it seems like making a movie is a huge commitment. It takes a lot of fucking time. But this bro has been all over I don't know, he's at like 20, 15,
everywhere.
20 big ones. Still pretty good.
Wait, did you drop out, Cal?
Pan's Labyrinth, that was fun. I've never seen Pacific Rim or The Shape of Water.
Pacific Rim is fun. Shape of the Water is a little too romancy for me. What is it? Crimson Peak is a beautiful movie, but I also was disappointed by that because I thought it was
that
going
movie
to be
is amazing.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston.
It's not even just Tom Hiddleston.
Sure it isn't.
It isn't. It's because it is a beautiful movie. It is a gothic ghost story. It has Bobby from Supernatural in it.
There weren't enough ghosts.
Bobby?
Not Bobby.
He's Bobby?
It was a little light on the ghosts. I will give you that.
It started the first 30 minutes or like 45 minutes of that movie. I was like, all right, this is going to be great. And then I just got bored. But it is a beautiful, well-made movie. Great acting, great script. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So maybe that's me bringing something to it and why it's not my favorite. But
personally, I would like to hire the people that Guillermo del Toro hires to do set decoration to decorate my apartment. His aesthetic
oh God. Yeah,
is
we're
my
talk
aesthetic.
about that.
Like,
How do you fit all that AI into your apartment? I'm just kidding. I was corrected.
Don't get me started again.
When we watched it, I was like, are those backgrounds like AI or whatever? And both my friends, Jamie and Keith, both flooded my inbox within 20 minutes with all the interviews with Mr. Del Toro saying, I hate AI. And I was like, okay, I stand corrected. And he's just very particular about his colors.
Of the actual, the sets that like, I thought were like, well, the floor is probably there and some of the equipment in the foreground, and then the rest is probably CG. Nope. He built a bunch of huge, beautiful sets for this movie. The guy's a master filmmaker.
They just feel surreal. It feels like Moulin Rouge or Big Fish or those movies. You know what I'm saying? Where it doesn't feel like it's fine. It didn't take me away from the movie, but it does not feel like these people are occupying a real space because it was too perfect. Everything was too colorful, too perfect, and yeah, very, very surreal. Speaking of surreal, real quick, I'm going to take us on a quick detour. Something that we meant to mention last week, but we forgot, and we got away from it.
Okay, here we go.
Oh Lord.
So we're all friends on Discord, and we have a gaming community that we are all a part of. That's where we do our D&D, and we play our video games and all that stuff, separate from Screen Shared Chill, of course. And the other day, I'm sitting here at my computer, not doing anything important, and of course, a notification comes through that Keith has said something in the lounge of our, the main room of our Discord channel. And not only has he said it, but it said that Keith pinned it to the channel. So all 80 other people of the guild know this and they see it every time they come to the channel. So what did you say, Keith? What did you say in chat?
What I said in chat and pinned to the channel was in all caps, gatekeeping the Seamen demon.
How the fuck did I miss this?
Yes. all caps, pinned to the channel in the gaming community, gatekeeping the Seamen demon. And Keith is the kind of person, he doesn't talk about shit like that very often. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Is an asteroid hitting Earth or...
Well, you didn't hear about that because it was only up for like 30 seconds once I realized I had posted and pinned it into the wrong Discord room. So let me, Kelly. Of
what
course.
What the fuck kind of Discord rooms are you in, Keith?
Let me tell you about this. Of course, Kelly happened to like have his eyes on the channel as it happened. That's
because it was only there for like a minute because he caught it right away. But for that minute, I was like, "What the fuck?" Staring right at the face of God.
I feel like you were just more puzzled than anything. Like, why has this happened? Yeah.
Like at first, I was a little bit concerned for you. I was like, "What is he okay? Like this is not normal behavior for you."
Is this a cry for help?
All right, let me offer the explanation. Okay, so. In fact, my friend group of Mike and Chad and Danny, we watch movies on Fridays, and someone said something about a demon, and then someone jokingly said something about the Seamen demon because it rhymes, and we all had a little laugh. And then Michael said, "Hey, me and Chad watched a movie with the Seamen demon," and I was like, "What? What movie?" And he said, "Oh, you'll know when you see it." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds crazy. What movie?" And he was like, "No, I'm not telling you. You're just going to have to discover it on your own." And I was like, what the fuck, man? What is this like your own special Seamen demon with Chad? You can't share it? And then our friend Danny came into the chat and he's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "They won't tell me what movie they saw what they're calling the Seamen demon in." And he's quiet for a pause and he goes, "They're gatekeeping the Seamen demon?" And the string of words just cracked me up. We were all cracking up. And I meant to pin it and write it in that Discord so that we could remember that moment in time. I thought it was like, it would be a great album title, gatekeeping the Seamen demon. But yeah, so I did that.
You're right. It definitely would make a great title. Sorry, go ahead.
I was deep in the throes of my legally prescribed anxiety medicine when this happened, and I happened to do it in the wrong channel. And then I did it, and I was like, "Hey, I posted it so we can remember." And they're all like, "I don't see it." And I was like,
I
alarm bells start going off in your head.
It was shocking, and honestly, I had a good laugh for like 20 minutes afterwards. I was because and listener, you'd have to understand, like, Keith is so polite in Discord and like he doesn't say shit about, fuck your mother's tits or any. That's not his style. So gatekeeping the Seamen Demon was very out of character. And I have to admit that if we're gonna have it during a week, maybe this is a fitting week for it to happen, because some could say that gatekeeping the Seamen Demon might kind of apply to a little bit of what's going on
in Frankenstein
with Mr. Viktor. Because I don't know, we had a discussion afterwards, and I'm of the opinion there was a little bit of sexual tension going on in this movie, and not between Viktor and Elizabeth. So,
he's
but
jealous. It's jealousy. Anyway,
so now that we've gotten now that we've purged the
Seamen Demon
or whatever,
the cum goblin. Yep. All right, let's put that to rest and never speak of it again.
Give us some facts and tips and tricks about the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein.
Del Toro has been trying to make this movie since 2007. It's been like a lifelong dream of his to do
5 years. Wow. Yeah, that's
5 years. 2007. That was 18 years ago, buddy.
You shut up. You were gatekeeping the
facts,
my life.
The passage of time.
It's not been that long.
So, yeah, it's like he wanted to do something that was true to the words on the page while, putting his own spin on it. I think he really achieved that. To me, this one feels like it's probably the most catches the spirit of the words on the page while not a one-to-one, adaptation. It kind of really nails what the book is doing and saying.
Hey, don't spoil the episode for us. But no, I hear you. Like, it feels like Shelley's work was supposed to, like, having Frankenstein have a voice, for example, or having the creature have a voice was such, like, so many versions either have the creature speak like an absolute simpleton, or they don't speak at all. They just grunt and drool and shit like that. And this one, the whole point, I think, of the story, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure historians they've debated this for 100 years plus. But it feels like a lot of the point of the story is to feel empathy towards the creature, and playing God has repercussions and such. And this actually leaned into that more. I mean, other Frankensteins have done that before. This isn't the first one that leaned into it, obviously, on film.
The De Niro one did a good bit of having the creature actually speak and have a mind, and wasn't just like, fire bad, rah!
Yeah. But who really saw that one? I mean...
Fair. I have not seen it in its entirety.
I'm sure which one you're talking about.
I haven't either. And even like living through the time, it seems like that was the joke in pop culture of, wait, Robert De Niro was in a Frankenstein movie?
Right.
Oh, really?
Cool.
You'd think I would have heard about that. Two huge names in one.
I mean, this is by far the most faithful adaptation of her work. By far. It is not one for one, like you said.
Adaptation and adaptation, aren't they? I mean,
I don't know.
I heard you correct yourself, and then I get it, but I'm thinking like, they're close.
I have the same. I get confused with that.
Aggression versus aggressiveness.
Yeah. But like if you look at where Mary Shelley was in her time of life when she was writing this, like, she very much was dealing with creation and the grief that comes with creating something that isn't viable, if you will. So I just think that there's a lot of layers to the story that she masked as being under men to kind of hide the fact that she was really speaking about the experience of motherhood and parenthood and that sort of thing, because she was also a feminist. So
the film was a Netflix production, but it did have a limited release to theaters. It was in select theaters for about 3 weeks before it premiered on Netflix. And despite that limited release, it still managed to pull in $422 million box office off a $120 million budget. So like,
it barely cut even, right?
Yeah.
By Hollywood math.
yes, but
I don't
mean,
fucking know with these bean counters. None of that makes sense to me, and it never will. So it's fine.
Everybody seems to have watched it on Netflix. There's all kinds of social chatter about this movie going on.
You literally have Oscar Isaacs and Jacob Elordi in it. Like, of course, people are going to watch it.
And a Del Toro version of Frankenstein. There's
Right.
like a lot to bring different people to the table.
And Mia Goth.
Yeah.
This is okay, yeah. So like Mia Goth, I had never seen her in a movie before. I had heard the name. I knew she was a star, so it's not like I live under a rock. But I don't think I had ever seen her in a movie before. This is the first time with her. And that other guy, Jacob Elordi, is how you say his name.
Never heard of him or seen him.
Exactly. It turns out
guys
that he's a
didn't watch
huge
Saltburn,
heartthrob, and he's a huge star. I had no clue. What I've never heard of the guy.
He might be a little out of our age range for the heartthrobiness. That could be part of it. He's a little on the young side.
Yeah, I guess whoever they're marketing towards the teen girl demographic doesn't really come across my Facebook feed very often, and I'm okay with that.
It was originally going to be Andrew Garfield as the creature, but he had to back out due to a scheduling constraint. I think Jacob Elordi.
Hey, that would have been awesome.
It would have.
I have a lot of respect for Andrew Garfield. I think he seems like a pretty solid actor. So,
And Mia Goth is very heavy in horror movies, which would be why you, in particular, Kelly, probably would not have seen much of her.
well, she's a funny looking fella. I mean, funny looking lady. You know, like she's got that kind of. She's beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
She was in High Life, though, and you guys watched High Life.
Oh right, yeah. I guess you could say we watched it.
Purged a lot of my memory.
Yeah, I turned my face away. There are times I saw a YouTube video the other day talking about the brilliance of High Life, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It's going to make my blood boil. Like anybody trying to tell me how amazing High Life is. The only good High Life out there was the beer was decent back when I used to drink, but other than that,
But yeah, she's a pretty steady staple in recent horror movies.
Does have a very classically Victorian Gothic face structure.
She does not have what they're
that.
calling the problem that they're having with a lot of things. She doesn't have iPhone face, like they're saying about a lot of other actresses these days.
What is iPhone face?
iPhone face.
Yeah, what is iPhone
Is
face?
it like shaped like an iPhone?
No, it means that it's saying that their face looks like it's never known life without an iPhone. So they look too modern. They look like they maybe had some work done. They look.
Oh, the veneers
Yes.
and the plumped
Yeah.
up lips and
Yeah.
the classic, the Kardashian. We all want to look like a Kardashian. A Kardashian.
I thought we were calling that Mar-a-Lago face now, or is that something different?
no,
That's like the next step.
Oh, yes.
That's when it keeps
Yeah.
going. Like that's
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Mar-a-Lago face is the extended edition of
iPhone face is like the peak of plastic surgery where you look perfect, and then you start down the hill towards Mar-a-Lago face.
Yeah, it starts. The face starts
like
moving.
Anya Taylor-Joy feels like I see an image of her the other day, and it feels like she's sliding on that. I'm like, wait, you look so different than when I first
Emma Stone.
saw you. Anyway, yeah, I don't know her that well either. I might have seen her in something, but it doesn't really. I mean, I can see what she looks like in my head, but anyways.
Well, that's the tidbits and behind the scenes stuff that I want to talk about out of the way. What do you guys say we get going and talk about the good?
I got a lot of goods. Let's
Yeah.
just get out of the way. The scenery, the beautiful scenes were amazing.
Yes.
Like all of the sets, whether it was a wide pan view, a close up view of somebody's face, every single image, a painting. I know I've said that all the time.
Yes,
It's part of what I like about film when a film is done well, but this one is on a whole other level.
My very
Beautiful.
first note is I fucking love Del Toro's cinematic vision, and you could never make me
Absolutely.
hate it. Every shot
Yeah.
is fucking poetry.
There's so much. What I noticed, because I watched this twice. What I noticed the second time when I actually have, when I'm not following the story as much because I've already seen it and I'm just taking in the frame. There's so much motion in just what normal directors would do for a two-person, two-heads-up dialogue scene that are usually still and flat. He is moving the camera around them. He's slow zooming or slow pulling away. He's just a master filmmaker. I think he brings somehow he brings some kind of gravitas to every single thing that he shoots just by the nature of how he shoots it. It's a beautiful fucking film.
I mean, you kind of run the risk of like over stirring the pudding or something, though. You know, like sometimes it seems like you do just want the camera to just sit the fuck down and let us look at the face.
Kelly, it's so subtle if you watch, like, it just, because, like, it'll just be slowly moving to one side or slowly zooming in, just to give something, just to give, like, a pull to the scene where it's not just a still dead image of two talking heads. He's great,
especially in a movie that is as dialogue heavy as this movie is.
Yes.
And not even dialogue heavy, monologue heavy. I appreciate it.
And the scenes reminded me of a splice between the visual style of Moulin Rouge. And I said that earlier joking, but I truly mean it. Like, this movie has a lot in common visually with Moulin Rouge, but also it felt like it pulled its beat-to-beat character, like the musical beats combined with how the camera moved, with how the people moved. It reminded me a lot of Sweeney Todd, with the Tim Burton Sweeney Todd. Mm-hmm. So if you were to take Tim Burton Sweeney Todd and Moulin Rouge and put it in a bowl and mix it up, this is what this movie feels like. It's colorful, but beautiful gothic to the point. That's why I thought all the sets were AI or CGI or something, because it was so pretty. It feels like you could zoom in on the background and see people walking in costume and stuff. And it was gorgeous to look at.
So, for instance, the set director here, like, he worked on Dune Part 2, obviously all of the Del Toro things. I was looking to see if he maybe worked on Moulin Rouge or anything like that. I don't see that.
I like that Del Toro, as a horror director, gets to have his cake and eat it too. When the creature is first introduced, it looks zombified and its eye is all fucked up and its ribs are exposed and its fingers are like peeled back to the bone. And it's like, oh, gory Frankenstein monster, here we go. But what we learn eventually what happened is that's because he just took a stick of dynamite to the chest. He is still sewn together in patchwork and, a homunculus type creature, but it's much more elegant looking in actual form. That's a way that he gets to play with the timing of the end of the movie, starting right before the end of the movie, chronologically, and showing us their tale from the beginning after that. I think it's just a great little way for him to have like a gnarly looking creature and then also still do the delicate childlike innocent creature. It's pretty smart.
I have a couple notes on the lines, which I know came from Mary Shelley, but I loved them, and so I wrote them down as my good because they were actually included. I loved some of what I tell you is fact, some is not, but it's all true. Like, that was interesting.
And that could be said about most eyewitness evidence.
Yeah. And that's why I liked it.
It's not necessarily fact, but the person might mean it in 100%. They might totally remember it that way, but it doesn't mean that it's exactly what you would have seen if you were standing in the same room with them.
Obviously, Charles Dance. Hi.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, Tywin definitely.
I did not recognize him till he spoke. The minute he started speaking, I was like, "Oh, wait a second."
And keeping the shitty father thing going too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely getting typecast as the cold, overbearing, angry, violent father.
He has a great
from
line.
What I understand, Charles Dance is such a sweetheart behind the scenes. Like, all the actors and people that have worked with him say that he is just a very humble, kind gentleman, and he plays this asshole so commonly in TV and film that poor Charles Dance. Hey, he's making money, so good for him.
He's an important part in this movie because I think a large part of the movie is all about the wrapping up of teaching and abuse and teaching abuse by you being abusive,
generational trauma. That was a major theme in this movie.
So when
because really Frankenstein's dad was the original villain. He's the one that started all of the bad shit that happened in this movie.
And when he's teaching young Viktor and he gets something wrong and Viktor holds out his hands and he says, "No, your hands will now be the instrument of your success, but your face is vanity," and whips his face. I wrote that line down just because it's a powerful, solid line.
You can see the cold, calculating truth in his tutelage is that, like, I'm still going to beat the fuck out of you, but certain parts of you are sacred to me now because they are of use to society. Oh, it was gross, but powerful.
Describing him was the other line that I wrote down, which was he was a breeze and I was a storm cloud, like the difference between father and son. But I love that you picked up on the generational trauma and the...
Wait, I was a breeze and he was a breeze and I thought that was between the two brothers.
Maybe, but still, because the
Yeah.
younger brother reminded him more of himself. The father reminded old Mr. Frankenstein more of himself than of
Old Mr.
I think this
Old
is just
Mr.
a classic of
Frankenstein.
Victor didn't want to be a doctor.
Right.
Victor wanted to be an artist or romantic or something like that, and he was forced into the medical field. And
Victor took after his mother, and Victor was more like his mother.
Victor is goth, okay? I noticed this from the jump when they show his little brother.
For all you new kids, he's emo.
No, he's like in his black coat and he's like creeping around the tree to look at his brother. You know, he's like he's in that classic creep like hunch, like looking around the tree. And then even as an adult, the way Oscar Isaacs plays him, right? He's got that sort of like, yes, I'm Victor. You know, in some instances he pushes it to
he needs the air over one eye and some Black Parade playing in the background.
The Book of Frankenstein is literally one of the precursors to Gothic horror. So yes, goths.
Yep, he's got
How
his...
does one movie be the precursor to Gothic horror and the seminal science fiction work?
Because Mary Shelley was fucking amazing. She is she is the mother of both science fiction and Gothic horror.
She's one of the people in history that if you were given the option, you know, those classic drinking games or whatever, like you could sit down with one historical figure, who would it be? She never comes to mind, but right now that we're in it, I'm like, God damn, that would be an amazing conversation to sit down with Mary Shelley.
Christopher Waltz is another welcome face that I always cheer whenever I see them show up, ever since I saw him in Inglourious Bastards.
What an uncomfortable role for him, too. Like, it was weird, because, like, you want to like him, but you can tell there's something else. There's something malicious going on behind the scenes, and I can't fucking tell. With the Nazi, you knew exactly what it was. Right. When we were watching Django, you know, you could kind of trust him from the get-go. With this movie, he sat on the needle's edge, and it was uncomfortable for me to watch him, like in a good way. Like, he did a good job with it. Everybody made a good way of making his character, but it was hard to watch almost. Am I alone in that, or...
No, I agree with you 100%. But I want to go back to, just for a second, that you both caught on to the generational trauma and the play between fathers and sons, because that was very much Guillermo del Toro's vision with this. And the changes he made to Shelley's original piece were in service of making that more obvious.
Well, yeah, and it's...
Yeah, I mean...
He changed the whole ending to make that, to give it a better ending, like to resolve the trauma, if you will.
Yeah, and you can see why, like, anybody that lived through that time, they might not have understood the generational trauma that they were going through the way that we understand them, because we understand a little bit more of how, you know, these different things in childhood can affect you in adulthood, and basically we understand generational trauma, period, in a way that we didn't understand it back then. Just like people will watch movies of things that we make today and go, oh, you can see how they just accepted the penal system, or they just accepted slaughtering animals, and, you know, like shit like that they may find barbaric in the future.
Penal system.
Whatever, Seamen Demon.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see why Guillermo del Toro did it, because like that makes sense for the time, it makes sense for the story, and I don't think if you sat down with Miss Shelley or Mrs. Shelley long enough, you would be able to convince her that those were solid change. I think that, you know, a conversation between those two with her going, yeah, I can see why you would do that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that her book did kind of already paint that picture. Hers just, I think, was viewed from a different lens just for her in general in her life. The creature for her was a stand-in for women. That's why there's only 2 other women in the book, and they literally consistently talk about the fact that they are the same person, even though they're not, which is why they picked Mia Goth to play both parts. They're so similar.
Didn't she first release this under a pen name too, just because being a woman in society came with all the extra baggage and expectations and all that shit. So it makes sense that she had to pen name, and then her main character is kind of slightly in drag thematically.
I loved the way that when they shot the creature many times, his left eye was often in shadow and had that little glow to it, while the right eye is like distinctly like wet and human looking. It's like the bestial side and the humanity all together on the same page. The predator on one
side and the prey on the other.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, and that is all visual, because as far as we can see into the character's mind, what we see in his private moments and his actions when nobody's looking, the creature is totally human. He's probably the kindest person on the screen, other than Elizabeth.
With all its power, what an extremely gentle soul. You know, it just allows itself to be chained up. It feeds the deer. It wants to help people. It's kind of beautiful, almost. And
when it becomes violent, it's in protection of the ones that it's trying to help. It's violence is.
Because the whole point is, what would he be like if he was raised in a nurturing environment? What if Viktor was kind to him and taught him about art and taught him about love? He might have still had, some of these animalistic urges, or he might have been too strong for his own good and accidentally killed somebody, or who knows how that story. It might have been like of mice and men kind of thing. But yeah, that's not the story we get, because Viktor is not. Spoiler: Viktor is not in the good column.
And I mean, there's parts of Viktor that I put in the good column, but for totally different reasons.
Which parts of Viktor are the good parts for you, Jamie?
Those smoky eyes.
Some of my favorite parts of Oscar Isaac are.
They were all on screen. Let's just put it that way.
Well, there was the moment where we see Oscar Isaac stand up naked and walk away from the camera for a good solid 3-4 seconds, and I'm like, all right, Jamie's gonna, this movie's getting a thumbs up for Jamie. Thumbs up from Jamie. I know it right now. All you need is some Michael Fassbender or Tom Hiddleston in here too, and it would be award-winning. Jamie would be like, best movie ever. This is amazing.
I love how Del Toro he puts the spotlight on that, the aspects of the tale of Frankenstein and his monster that get shoved under the whole Frankenstein's monster horror movie sort of thing. He highlights that stuff, but then at the same time, he also has mad science shit where the storm is raging, and he's after the lightning, and he's doing cranking wheels and pulling levers, and it's just like that, the classic movie stuff. He gets to have both worlds congeal together, and I love it. It's great. It's like bits of classic horror through the lens of a lifelong horror fan. It's wonderful
that
stuff.
Actually brings in the whole fact that they have the scene where Frankenstein is watching over the blind man and talking to the blind man and is watching over his family. That this is the first adaptation that shows that. None of the rest of them have gone into that, because that didn't portray what they wanted to show.
And that's such an important part of the creature's development. That's his first time interacting with humans that aren't Viktor, and maybe Elizabeth, depending on which story you're reading or whatever. But the fact that he comes across a human family, and the first human he befriends is a blind person, so they can't easily see the deformities in the creature's face and body and stuff. So he makes his first friend, and then that friendship gets ruined because of the visual aspects of his face.
And that's when he learns. That's when he learns again. So he learns from Viktor when Viktor says his name first, when he's loving and kind before he's horrified by what he does. He learns from Elizabeth, who's loving and kind, and he learns from this family and their loving and kindness to each other that he's watching over. And that's how he learns how to be a human in moments of kindness. And so it highly speaks to the fact that abuse does not teach.
Well, he also does learn the violence too, because we see him. He has no trouble turning on the anger and completely throwing a motherfucker across the room and snapping their back and shit like that.
Oh, there's some. He does some that scene in the opening where he like picks up a guy and smacks another guy with him, and the other guy's like bent in half and just falls over backwards.
I don't remember where it comes from, but the phrase "you beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker" went through my head because I love that line. Like, How strong are you to use a human being to beat another human being?
What slipped into my mind is from the "I'm the Juggernaut bitch" video. There's a part where he says, "I hit you with your own pimp."
Or that's another way of looking at the
Same
same
line, different phrasing.
Yeah. I love that this also shines a spotlight on just the ghoulish nature of Dr. Frankenstein's work, which most movies kind of skip over. It's like they talk about it and then the monster's on the slab. But here he's cutting through legs and twisting off arms, and it's like it actually upset my stomach a little bit. Like seeing, I'm like, this is like chilling and ghoulish.
Just imagine what his fucking workshop smells like. That's all I gotta say. You know, day 1 versus day 5
versus day 55.
Those bodies are just decaying in the buckets. Yeah, like my god. And I love the fact that there was just blood everywhere, like people going to his house and they're stepping over little rivers of blood because that he doesn't have a good draining system, and even if you do, there's just going to be blood.
But I loved that when he was cutting into
the gore was very gory.
See, and I didn't think so. I thought, because I'm not a big fan of gore, and I love that part, and I don't normally like gore, but I liked that the blood was everywhere except when he was cutting into the body parts that were already disassembled, because that's how it would really be, right? Like, that leg's not attached to anything. There's not going to be any.
It didn't look fake.
No, I didn't think.
It looked
very realistic.
real, and it was
like medically accurate. Yeah,
but it also reminded me of cartoons of like Bugs Bunny cutting through a ham or something. It was so clean, and it made the back of my tongue want to jump out my throat. It was that.
But that's the kind of, I guess that's the kind of horror gore that I'm okay with, because it doesn't show the blood, and it's already. Because I was fascinated, and I have always kind of been fascinated by like surgeries and stuff like that, by the precision of it and how.
You're a little weird. It's okay. We love you anyway.
And how precise it was and how realistic it looked. That really impressed me, and that's why it's in my good.
This movie definitely comes with a disclaimer. Like, I told some friends when I went to work the next day after watching this, everybody was like, "Oh, you saw it, so what did you think of it?" I'm like, "Oh, it was blank," and I'll tell you all later what my bottom line opinion of it was. And they said, "Oh, that sounds like something I might want to see." And I'm like, "Yes, but be prepared that there are some very gory scenes." I felt like the Karens coming out of Superman going, "Oh, there was too much kissing going on," because I'm like. It was a lot of beautiful things going on, a lot of ways very faithful to the original source material, but be prepared that there's some gore that kind of comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, think about it. You're watching a movie about a guy that sews cadavers together. You're going to be seeing a lot of human bodies in various states of unmaking.
There is significant gore in this movie aside from that, but it's very quick. It doesn't linger on it, which is nice and probably helps you, Jamie. Yeah. Like he rips a guy's jaw off and it's just like a split second and you miss it.
You definitely see it, but it doesn't linger. Yeah.
Right.
When he grabs the fucking wolf and like rips its skin off all the way down its back, holy shit, that's fucking gruesome.
Yeah,
and
he skinned a wolf alive with his hands.
But again, was very
fucking
quick.
Brutal.
I think that plays back to like how Kelly's talked about gore before. When it makes sense with the story, it's not as bothersome, and that does. Like, you're showing that he has no control over his power when he gets into that rage. That's when he loses control, and he has no way of stopping it.
Sometimes gore feels like there's a 15-year-old boy behind the camera, and he's like, "Oh yeah, rip his toenails off, and let's watch it. Yeah, and let's pull his tongue out, and let's watch it." And that's the gore I don't get into. But this, where it's like, and then he swipes and he rips the guy's fucking jaw right off, and we see just a quick cut of his face without a jaw attached to it anymore. Okay. That's just gruesome and brutal and visceral and violent.
Terrifying.
If you do it well, now you understand why these humans are so fucking afraid of the creature, because...
We're sorry to interrupt your wonderful listening experience, but it's time for us to do that thing we don't like to do, which is talk about ourselves. Obviously, we all hate that, right?
Hey, speak for yourself, Jamie.
Okay, so the rest of us other than Kelly hate to do that.
Well... But, I don't want anyone I don't want anyone to really like be aware of me. I just want them to hear me and my opinions and agree with me. But that's it.
Right, but you don't want to talk
positive
about
opinions,
yourself.
we want all of those.
Yeah.
The negative opinions, don't want to hear any of them.
You want to talk about things and not about yourself. philosophy. There's a difference. But what we would love for you to do is to share us with your friends. Share links to the show. Talk about it in our Discord, our different social media places. Share our links with your friends. Let them know how cool we are.
Give your lovers an ultimatum that if they don't start listening to us, that you're going to leave their ass.
Because you're too cool for them.
The two longest lasting gifts you can give your lover are venereal disease and screen share and chill. That's been verified by science. So,
what a lovely
do you
comparison.
love your partner? Do you not want to give them venereal disease? Give them us instead. We'll do the venereal disease part for you.
Yes, we are a good substitute for venereal disease.
Speaking of spreading and going viral,
Why do you do this?
discuss our shows on all of our different social media platforms. We have YouTube, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Bing Bong, Slide, all the new.
Wait, hold up. Bing Bong. I don't think
I
that's
was trying to make a prediction as to what they're going to be called in the future, and the way naming conventions are going, it's going to get simpler and simpler for the average person because the average person's getting dumber and dumber. So it's going to be shit like Bing Bong and Bloop and Fart and shit like that. That's what
I shit you not. I was Bloop was in my mind. Don't forget to re-bloop us. You know,
Bloop all over
That
our
should
show,
scare you,
guys.
Keith. That should not be a point of pride.
we just kind of bloop ourselves.
But what's the best place if you want to actually interact with us? What's the number one place to find us?
Well, we're all huge nerds, and we hang out on Discord because we're chronically online, and there's a couple people there that get to, we powwow with. Our friend of the pod, Adam, hangs out there. You should check out his music, by the way. Adam Emond.
Yes, it's like almond with an E.
Yeah. Hey. Yes, exactly.
And our super listener Mike is there
the
sometimes too. The guy that won our first contest, our first tier list. He's there every once in a while.
Yes. Original super listener Mike, also known as Spike. You can find our Discord information plastered all over our socials, specifically Facebook. So come join us and have a good time. Have a little chat. Stay a while.
And then if you really wanted to help us, you could throw some reviews on any of your podcasting listening devices. So Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever. Just throw a review in there. Give us 5 stars. Tell us what you like about us. We'll read about it. We'll read it on one of our ads or maybe one of our shows sometime.
And if you really extra double like us, you can reach within really deep and just give us some of your money.
Goat see some money to us. That's what Keith is telling you.
That's what I heard too.
I don't believe those
reach
words I used,
deep
but if
into there. We're talking elbow deep.
In that hole. Deep.
Holy shit.
I don't think they're gonna want to give us any money after this, but on the off chance.
But what if they feel it in their cockles?
Yes, if you feel us in your cockles, then please reach deep within yourself and take a visit to Ko-Fi, where you can rent us a movie to watch, because, it ain't free to watch all these movies. There's so many different streaming services and so many things that aren't on streaming services that we have to rent, and to keep us from having to, do anything of a nefarious nature, rent us a movie. It would help us out. Or you can also pay to force us to watch a movie of your choice, and we will watch it. It's not guaranteed that we'll like it, or if it's a movie you hate and you want us to hate it, it's not guaranteed that we'll hate it, but we will watch it. And
you say pay us so we won't do anything nefarious. It makes me think of like the three of us getting dressed up to go like rob a little old lady of her lunch money so that we can pay for
No. It's insurance money, you wouldn't want nothing bad
like you wouldn't want anybody to kick your cane out from underneath you. Boop.
Yeah, so rent us a movie.
We're here for your protection.
Back to the show. All right, so I've got quite a few goods still, so I'm gonna rattle down a couple because I've got like 3 quotes here that I want to touch base on. The 3 quotes that I wrote down were, "Don't pretend to be reasonable now. It would be such a shame." I love that line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's him.
I want to commit that to memory because there are so many times where you want to get it. Like, imagine being in a Facebook argument about something political and somebody starts acting like a reasonable party 10 messages in, and you're like, "Don't pretend to be reasonable now. It would be such a shame. You're ruining the entire interaction."
Right.
That's when Christopher Waltz tells Viktor, he's like, "I'll fully fund you. Money's not an object. Do what you want." And Frankenstein's like, "I'll consider it."
Yeah.
And so he's
yeah.
like, don't pretend to be
Right. And it was-
reasonable now.
Yeah.
You're the only one that can do this because you're the only one out of your mind enough to try this, and I'm the only one out of my mind enough to give you this money. So come on, let's not stand on ceremony.
And I want you to do it so you make me immortal.
Well, that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants it for them, right? So like,
No.
the other quote that stepped out was, "Which part holds the soul?" And I imagine during this era of medical science, there was a lot of experimentation to try to figure out where's the soul at? Is it in the heart? No. Is it in the brain? Well, blah blah. And let's put brains in jars. Let's electrocute them, which kind of leads me into the medical tribunal at the very beginning of the movie. Really good setting the scene for the movie. And those effects when he electrifies the torso and the one arm, really well done. I that pulled me in to the point where I was like, oh shit, we're dealing with some, because I couldn't tell how much was practical, how much was, if there was CG. I don't know. And again, we talked before, when I can't tell if it's fake or not, that means that it's well done. And honestly, if I wasn't reviewing this, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. I just would have folded into the story. So, perfect.
Well, we don't know which part holds the soul, but we know that pee is stored in the balls.
Damn it, man, I'm a doctor, not a torpedo technician.
I think I saw that on one of Victor's diagrams.
Yes, so yeah, definitely. That's the key of, you got to make sure there's enough pee stored in the balls when the lightning strikes, and that's what threw him all off. Is he only had one testicle full when it happened.
The 7 humors, and plus also pee is stored in the balls.
The 7 humors and D's. D's what, sir?
These balls where I store my pee.
Oh Lord. So one of the quotes that I really liked, and it was, "This is the way of the world. It will hunt you and kill you for the way you are." So true.
Yeah, right. You could put that on the pride flag. You could put that in a BLM protest. You know what I'm saying?
Anywhere.
How many? You name me one person that is the happy, warm little center of society. There's not a single person that isn't deviant in some way. Whoever's listening to the sound of my voice right now, I guarantee you there's some way that society would look at you and go, wrong, bad. Get the pitchforks and the torches. We're going to get that person right there now.
And we're taught our entire life to hide those parts so that we can be accepted.
Yeah. What's the whole point in etiquette? Is to hide your base nature. Don't just like take a bite out of the hamburger and wipe your face with the back of your sleeve like you might want to, because that's not what we are different. No, we're not. We're all pretending. We're all pretending that we're not fucking murderous, sex-driven apes flying around in tin cans.
Murder apes.
And then I love that Victor wore red gloves through so much of the movie, like literally signifying, and they were blood red, like signifying that he had blood on his hands, and that he took one glove off at one point to touch kindly the monster, and then put it back on and became mean. And it was such a powerful symbol right there. I loved it.
Just the colors in general.
Yeah, and it feels like doctors go with white because that way they can see if something gets on them, whether it's, red or black or brown or whatever. And it makes sense that Victor would go with red because I don't care. I don't want to be reminded. I don't want to see the red. Yes, I know there's blood everywhere. Or maybe they were white to begin with, and they've just been soaked in blood so much that they will never be white again.
I wrote down the line, "Can you contain your fire, Prometheus?"
Oh yeah,
Which is pretty banging.
in a nod to the,
What? David steps out of the background and grins.
yeah. There's our
I hope
Fassbender cameo. Yeah.
well, it was a nod to the subtitle from the Shelley book.
The modern Prometheus. Yeah. The part where he blows up the tower and Elizabeth and her husband to be ride back up in the carriage, and she steps out and the door is open. And we see the explosion reflected in the glass of the wagon door. It's just it's a great little new way to show you what's happening, and it's not just like, look at this big badass explosion. Zack Snyder would show you the explosion, and it would be in slow motion, and it would take
17 angles. Yeah,
right. But this, it's just reflected in the glass of the carriage window, and it's just another. I don't mean to be pole riding Del Toro so fiercely, but it's just so many little things like that in this movie really just jump out at me as like, this guy knows how to beautifully render a story.
Yeah. I think Keith has a crush.
I do, on the horror. What is it? What's it called? It's my words are failing me. I'm so in love.
He is tongue-tied and flabbergasted.
Hard not to, like, when you see somebody with that level of skill, to not be attracted to that.
Oh, I'll get my last good, and then whoever can wrap it up. But just they didn't go fully into the Bride of Frankenstein. Like, Elizabeth is never resurrected or whatever as a companion. But there's a great nod that her wedding dress has these wraparound armbands that look almost exactly like the bride's surgical bandages around her arms.
Yeah,
which is
a little visual nod.
A nice way. Yeah, it's wonderful.
A nod without being a remember berry.
Right.
I have to point this out. You keep saying remember berries. They're just called member berries. So I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah, there's no R.
Yeah.
But there is R. There's lots of R's.
No, remember this? That's
member bays. Member bays. If you try to say member berries without the R's, try give it a whirl.
Is that the British version? Member bays in my... Oh, who put these member bays in my bottle of water?
Betties. Near the end of the movie, where there's a sunrise over the Antarctic plain, and you see the silhouette of the creature and the sunrise right behind him. That was beautiful, brilliant. That I thought was one of those images that I want to I'm going to look into getting a frame of that image and put it on my wall, because it doesn't even necessarily cry Frankenstein. It's so nebulous and fluid in its feeling that you could put that as a poster for any movie, and I would challenge you to figure out what the movie is about. It could be sci-fi, it could be anything. So whatever. I thought that was beautiful.
And again, a wonderful tie back to the line, turn towards the sun, because that's where life is.
Yep. My final good is the phrase that we hear near the end of the movie, that if we would have heard it at the beginning, we would have avoided a lot of pain and suffering for a lot of people. And it feels like this entire movie is Viktor running away from the phrase, "I'm sorry." Mm-hmm. That's all he needed to say. He just needed to, because it seems like deep down he knew what he was doing was not right. It was just the way he was taught to do it. And finally at the end, he's like, "I'm sorry." And I'm like, thank God. All you had to do was say you're sorry, and things would have, like, I feel like the creature would have accepted your apology early on, and you guys could have built a relationship from that point on. But many people dying, so much pain and suffering because this one man could not admit he was wrong.
His own pain and suffering, right? He keeps going after the creature, and the creature like breaks his arms, breaks his nose, and he's like, "You relentlessly pursue me, I will come for you again and again." And he's still like going for it. It's just like, you stubborn son of a bitch.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and talk about our scene spotlight. How about we do that?
Well, Keith, why don't you tell us about the scene?
The scene where he's burning down the castle with the creature in it, and he goes to him and gives him the ultimatum. He says, say one word, anything else. The only thing the creature has said is Viktor, over and over. Viktor, 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 to the point where I actually laughed, because I understand, and I have felt that same frustration. And technically, it reminded me a lot of you in some instances, Kelly, where he says Viktor for like the umpteenth time, and he's like, yes, I am Viktor. This much we have established. Just like,
give me another word. Any word.
Shit.
You pick the fucking word. I don't care. I don't care. Just pick a word.
But yeah, and that's exactly it, and that's what cements Viktor as the villain. Is he's like, say anything, and I will call this off. I will not light this fire. And he says Viktor again. So he storms out. He's about to light it ablaze. And then the creature says Elizabeth. And Viktor hears him to the point where he turns around and looks at him incredulously, and then still chooses to go and set the fire and destroy the creature out of pride, stubbornness, whatever. It's a conscious choice that he has made to go through with it, even though he just asked for this. And it's like, you fucking asshole.
And part of it is the anger at his creation not being as brilliant and amazing as he was hoping it would be, so it's a small ding to his own pride. Part of it's frustration at hearing the same fucking word over and over again. I get it. And part of it is because the only other word that he said was the woman that rejected Viktor. And it's like, how fucking dare you? You're going to say one other word and it's going to be her? Fuck you. And, that shows you right there. Like, I don't know. In my life, I felt that feeling before, but the difference is Viktor burned down the fucking house and tried to kill everybody. That's where he turns into the villain. That's the true commitment to the villain arc for him.
Yes.
That's where you really see his nature, his true nature.
Yeah. I mean, you see it coming out when he's beating the shit out of the creature. So obviously he wasn't exactly a stellar, wonderful person then. But when he finally makes the conscious commitment, then
him beating the creature, you're able to chalk up to that's how he was taught. That's what he learned.
Yeah.
He didn't learn better. So in your brain, you're able to excuse that away. But when he drops that match at that point, that's where it becomes inexcusable.
Him lighting the fire is the Joker putting the makeup on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I have made this choice.
Yeah. And it's not even just about the creature. It's about the fact that Elizabeth rejected him, but was like being so maternal and loving towards the creature, who is dumb and stupid and
Viktor wanted
incapable
that.
and ugly in his because Viktor has some serious mommy issues.
A man in that era, he wanted his wife to baby him and be his motherly figure to a certain degree. He wanted a mother. He didn't, so like.
Viktor has serious mommy issues. Serious mommy issues.
Because his mom passed, and he was such a close. He was very similar to his mom. So, and he saw that in Elizabeth. And keep in mind too that I'm not telling either one of you this because we kind of talked about it at the time. But in the original Mary Shelley book, Elizabeth is engaged to Viktor. So anybody watching this movie that's really familiar with the source material is assuming that Elizabeth and Viktor are going to get together at some point. And there is some chemistry there. It's undeniable that they do have a good banter going on. But she does not get with him, and that's where it throws everybody for a loop. So it kind of tells those that are book purists that, you'll see a lot of the same characters, but don't expect them to do exactly what you know them to do from the old one.
And that actually ties and sets up into the scene, right? She's talking about the butterfly when she rejects Viktor. She says the difference between me and her is that I have a choice and I have made my choice, meaning your brother. And she has made this choice. Well, Viktor, you just made a choice too, and you chose to essentially murder your creation out of jealousy, pride, and
destroy a really cool building too. That was such a cool.
Yeah. Like that Medusa plaque on the wall. That was so fucking amazing.
Real, actual, physically on set. Mr. Del Toro, you are a fucking mad genius.
All right, so it sounds like it might be time
to talk about the bad.
Oh God, we're gonna talk about all the bad things in this movie?
Yeah, I have one, and it's the same as yours.
I have
about 6.
3, and they're 4, and they're pretty nitpicky.
Well, let me just start. Let me go then, and I'll clear the way for you guys to go on. Viktor, man, what an asshole! It's almost it feels almost unearned, his redemption, because he's such a shit. I'm glad that he got there with the creature and got his forgiveness or whatever. But what a raging lunatic asshole!
One of my first notes was Viktor in the bad column, and then afterwards I added, "What a shithead." So it just got worse as the movie went on.
He does not get that redemption in the book. There is no, I'm sorry, he never admits himself wrong.
He barely deserves it in the movie. In the movie, that's kind of the linchpin is for him to be forgiven. And I'm looking at the creature going, don't do it, bro. Just kill him. Just fucking kill him.
Yeah, I thought he had his hand on his chest. I thought he was just going to crush his chest. best. Like, I was waiting for it to
But,
happen.
you know, give it up to Guillermo del Toro because he did leave it with a positive message. It would have been very poignant, and I would have accepted it if the creature just gave in and killed everybody at the end. But the fact that he ended the way it did, it kind of leaves, I guess you could say, new bringers to the story with a positive message of, you know, this could have been avoided, you know.
It also shows to me, anyways, because Victor's literally saying it with his dying breath, it shows that the forgiveness isn't for Victor. It's to help the creature.
Yeah.
When you forgive somebody, it's for you and your sanity and your ability to move forward more than making somebody else feel better.
Yep. So my biggest bad for a while was the scenes, and it felt like they felt fake, but we already talked about that. So that moved from the bad to the good for me. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna skip over that, but I'm gonna mention that for a while there, it was in my bad column because I thought that they were just using like AI backgrounds and shit because it was like, you know, your eyes pick up on this is too colorful, too perfect.
Yeah, it was too perfect. Your brain rejected it like the Matrix because it was too perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. One of my bads is that they linger for a long time on the fake science in a movie that is already quite long. I don't need you to explain to me how this fake science works in this fake universe. You can just say that it works. That's fine. We don't need to. We don't need to get lost in the technobabble. And it felt like they had those scenes where they were setting up the lab at the very, not the beginning, but like, you know, a good 20%, 30% through the movie. And we're just kind of sticking in those scenes where he's going shopping for the different parts. And I get that there are some character moments, but we could have left all the talking about the sprockets and the gizmos and the whatchamacallits because none of that mattered.
That kind of wraps into one of mine, so I'm going to jump in and say that the movie is too long. It's too long. And I say that because, and I like, most of my favorite movies are over 3 hours long, so I'm not opposed to long movies. But this one feels long. When you're in a movie that is long and it's good, it shouldn't ever feel long if it doesn't need to be shortened. And this one felt long. And I couldn't specifically say, oh, this scene could go or this scene could go exactly. But it was a lot of, we probably spent a little too much time on almost every scene in the movie.
Yeah, I wasn't bored, but I was restless in my seat. Like, I was like, ugh. Yeah. I don't want to check my phone. I don't want to distract myself from the movie, but I'm kind of bored just staring at what's on the screen right now for the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, for me, that happened a bit in the last third of the movie. Yeah. And it's pretty much exactly like you said. I couldn't, like, I'm not objecting to any of the scenes that were there and given to me. But if you let me watch it a third time, I could be like, okay, cut that. You could remove this, shorten this. You know, there's room for improvement on the pacing.
A good editor could have cleaned this up just a little bit more. I think Guillermo del Toro, his name and his artiste qualities probably pulled this movie into the 2.5 hour length when a good editor could have dropped it down to about 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. And it would have been well served for that. This movie felt very similar to, like I said, Sweeney Todd is something that kept coming to mind. And anybody that's a big fan of Sweeney Todd, for the first, like, for all of Victor's tale, it feels like a Sweeney Todd offshoot. But the difference is it didn't have Sondheim's music underneath it. So a lot of times with the music, it felt like it was leaning into a similar style. Maybe my brain was doing a lot of the heavy lifting. I don't know. But it felt like there were those large moments. And maybe this is during the same part where they're doing all the fake science and stuff like that. But it felt like this is Sweeney Todd without Sondheim. And Sweeney Todd without Sondheim is a lesser product. And the music was good. It wasn't that the music was bad. Like, I really like the music. It's just that the music felt... Maybe it's just because I've seen Sweeney Todd so many times. Maybe it's because it's such a big musical in my life, and it has, you know, I've studied it a lot and stuff like that.
Well, you said it reminds you of Sweeney Todd and Moulin Rouge. Maybe your brain was just like, "Where's the music at?"
It needs to be a musical.
Yeah, and it felt like there were moments where the music would start to pick up.
I'd rather just sing.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here.
And then it would just drift off, and I was like, oh, that sounded... I wanted to hear the Sweeney Todd background, the you know, and it never quite got there, and it caused a weird discordant in my brain. what is up with the alien sound effects? Maybe it's just because we just watched an alien movie, but when the creature is stalking the people, even in Antarctica and later scenes, we hear that clicking noise that the alien makes, the where it's gurgling in a breath. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where did Frankenstein's creature get the alien? Like, that's it wasn't a complete one-to-one, but I swear to God, go back and listen to it again, and it has that weird, like, you know how the predator and the alien both have that gurgling breath noise? The creature has that same noise going on. And combine that with a bear.
His chest was exploded open. I have to assume that's where that comes from.
I'm not saying there isn't a reason for it, but my brain was like, is there a xenomorph? Where did the fucking... Where's the black goo? That now it understands why Frankenstein's creature stood up again, because it's just the fucking black goo. David, where are you?
And in my brain,
Prometheus.
The way I reason that now is that because that has become so much of a cultural touchstone in our culture, that when you put that sound in there, it immediately conveys otherworldliness to the creature.
Yeah.
Otherworldly and predator type thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we just happened to watch them too close together to not make that.
All right. So now that we've sucked off Mr. Del Toro for the last hour,
I still have some ugly or some bad. I still have some bad.
Go ahead then. I have one more, but it's a big one. I'm going to rip into him for something.
Mine is really very not big. Mine is super, super nitpicky here. But there's a scene where they are showing ladies crossing the road on boards, and the one woman has her skirt hiked up past her knees.
Whore! Now there's someone who could have used a good mother.
Absolutely not. She was very clearly not a prostitute. She was a woman.
Yeah, that's pornographic. That'd be like her going topless.
She was a lady, and her skirt
Seriously,
was
showing your ankles in Victorian London. That's you might get taken to jail for indecency.
The person in front of her does a very dainty lift. The person behind her does a dainty lift. She hikes that skirt way up, and I'm like, how did that get past everybody?
Well, my biggest gripe about this movie, and I'm sorry, it's again, it might feel like a nitpick, but at the time, this does not feel very nitpicky to me. The wolf CGI in this movie is fucking horrible compared to all the other shit. Like, the wolves were so drastically cartoony that it pulled me out. Like, I was not expecting to, like, openly start giggling at the TV screen when he's ripping off skin off of wolves and stuff like that. That's why that scene didn't feel as visceral to me, because those wolves were dancing around like they were in a goddamn DC animated movie or something. It was not pleasant to look at.
Them.
What?
They didn't have any weight to them. Like, they weren't.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on with that. Like, how do you fix that or whatever? But it was glaring in a movie that otherwise, like I said, it looked too perfect and everything was too great. And then all of a sudden you have these ghost wolves bouncing around like they're out of a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon or something.
I knew I should have made a left turn at Albuquerque.
And that's the end of my bad.
All right. That means it's time to talk about the ugly. Does anyone have any ugly? I have one. Yeah, I have one.
I have one.
I'm gonna bust in and go first. Aside from, I guess, Oscar Isaac himself, I don't know that I saw a single person of color in this movie, like in the entire thing, even in the background. Which, I mean, I guess you could hide under the period piece argument, but am I wrong?
No.
No, and you know what? I remember Katie, the original, one of the co-hosts from the early days of the podcast. She and I were working on a Dracula piece, and at one point we were talking about casting. I was director, she was assistant director, and we were talking about casting on the show, and I was like, I said something about Dracula being a male, and she's like, why is Dracula a male? And I'm like, well, because Dracula is traditionally a male, and blah, 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 blah. She's like, well, next you're going to tell me that you're only going to cast white people in the roles because that's historically accurate. And I'm like, no, I would never do that. And she goes, well, if you're willing to put black people in the roles, then why wouldn't you be willing to put women in the roles? And what does any of that matter? If the best actor for the part comes across and a woman is amazing at Dracula, are you going to turn them away? What if it's a black trans woman? Are you going to turn her away because she doesn't fit the mental image that you thought Dracula would be in your show? And I'm like, no, you know what? You're absolutely right. Every role is completely open for race and gender, and I'd like to keep that consistent for most of my productions if I had that luxury kind of thing. in this movie felt like the absolute opposite, where if you lean into historical accuracy, then Katie was 100% right that all you do is you perpetuate these racist stereotypes and stuff like that. Like, I get if you're doing like a slightly documentary piece or something that's supposed to be a real glimpse of history. But I'm telling you right now, spoiler, Viktor Frankenstein didn't actually bring people from dead
right,
by
exactly.
electrocuting them with lightning bolts. That didn't actually happen. So you can afford to have some black, like Mia could have been, or I'm sorry, Elizabeth could have been a black woman, or hell, Victor's dad could have been a black man. None of these characters needed to be as white as could be. So, yeah.
Hell, aspects of the creature, the patchwork creature, like something,
Right.
just nothing.
But then if you did all white cast and the only color skin that you have is like you're sacrificing black people to make a whole different message is being
Right.
I'm right there with you that one or two more characters of diverse something, whether you hire Elizabeth as a trans actor or you another person of color somewhere, something a little sprinkle some diversity in this.
And I love Oscar Isaac, and I realize that he is diverse, but he presents white.
Yeah, he is kind of like Denzel Washington in the 90s. Like, yes, he is a black man, but he's that black man. We even studied this in college, where he's that type of black man that white society has accepted. Like that whole classic icky phrase, he's one of the good ones. Well, he is the best one, kind of thing. That's why he's on TV. We understand his culture viewing through his eyes, when his whole persona has been whitewashed to make it more palatable to white people to begin with. And there's nothing against Mr. Denzel Washington. He is an amazing actor, and from my understanding, he does amazing activist work and stuff like that. So this is not downplaying. It's more of what society does to an amazing actor like that to make it, quote, palatable for white audiences and shit like that. So, and Oscar Isaac, I'm right there with you. He is not a white man, but he's in that same Denzel Washington category.
The thing was just the fact that we killed a deer. That poor deer did not have to die, and that made me sad.
Oh, that was pretty ugly.
I mean, it serves its purpose. It really does, because it shows that it doesn't matter. Like they're hunting, and they're hunting because that's what they want to do.
And it's so instinctively sweet. It's not scared of the creature. He's able to feed it off the bat,
which shows his nature even better.
Yep.
My only ugly is, and this is one of those where it's not the movie's fault. I was looking for a message, and this is another movie. It reminds me of Halloween Kills, I believe was the middle one in that trilogy. This shows the dark side of community. Again, we see more examples of how mob justice goes awry. And this is less mob justice and more of just like societal expectations of whenever you have a community, a lot of good things can come from that. Hell, all of human civilization comes from us learning how to be a community together. But one of the bad sides is that we have the in-out groups, and the in-out groups are the groups that either conform to what we consider as part of our societal standard, and those that don't. And those that don't sometimes are by no reason, it's just intrinsic values, whether it's the color of their skin or their sexual orientation or whatever, or like this creature, he didn't deserve
your gender expression.
Yeah, like whatever it happens to be, society will find a reason why you deserve to be in the out group, and then once you become the out group, you see what happens. That it doesn't take long for a human to go from you don't belong with us to you don't belong to be, period. And it turns very violent, and that this movie does a great job of, it doesn't hammer the point with actual literal villagers with pitchforks and torches standing outside the room while the creature laments, if only they would accept me. It's not that bad, but it's pretty fucking close at times.
Which is interesting, because the whole villagers with pitchforks and torches comes from the first Frankenstein movie. That's where that image is largely from in pop culture. They chase him into a windmill and burn it down.
Yeah, and I forgot to bring this up earlier, so even though this isn't ugly, I'm just going to throw this out there. It was in my good, and I forgot to bring it up, that I really, really loved that minor spoiler. So if you don't want to be spoiled at the big twist in this movie, then maybe skip ahead a few seconds. But the twist with Elizabeth being shot by Viktor.
Yes.
Because in the original story, Elizabeth is killed by the creature, and that's where Viktor gets his "I will follow you to the ends of the earth," blah, 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 because he wants to get revenge for Elizabeth. But in this version, Elizabeth is shot by Viktor, further cementing what a shithead. And I love that basically with this twist, what Guillermo del Toro has done is he's now framed this sentence. Let me just say this sentence to you, and I think it'll land. Frankenstein is the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
100%.
And so people back in the day, the old joke of Frankenstein isn't the monster. That's the name of the doctor. The monster doesn't have a name. That's his creation is the monster. No, in this version, Frankenstein himself is the monster.
Mm-hmm.
Fully.
Yeah, I saw a great sentiment that I saw somewhere, probably a tweet. It said, intelligence is realizing that Frankenstein is not the monster, right? Meaning the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But wisdom is realizing that Frankenstein is the monster.
Right.
Yeah. And he does it twice in this, knowingly burning down the castle with the creature still inside, even though he spoke a second word and did what he asked. And he shot Elizabeth, even though what was he going to do to the creature? The creature has taken several gunshots and has not died yet. So he should have not fired. And he did so willingly, putting his quote unquote loved one at risk. Mm-hmm. Which he was by the end, he just had incel vibes, right? The nice guy that he put in all the tokens. Where's my sex? I pulled the handle. Where's my sex token?
And I want to point out that we made that mistake in the very beginning. And I was going to wait till the end to point it out. That we said that Frankenstein was played by a heartthrob. And we meant Jacob Elordi.
Oh, did we? Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah. We fall prey to it the same as everybody, I'm sure, because it's, the first 20 years of my life until I learned better.
Yes,
I thought that
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein was the creature.
And then I just have to point out, too, that I have headcanon from the end of this movie. That, and again, spoilers, so if you don't want to listen to this part, come back after you've watched it. The creature is walking off into the sunset of the North Pole as an immortal being, and he became Santa Claus. Santa Claus is the creature.
I remember you saying that at the end of the movie, and it made me laugh. Like, get to work, elves. He enslaves
Frankenclaws.
elf creatures that were living on the pole.
He talks to deer. Like it makes sense. It makes sense. Just saying.
Sure.
He wants to give children toys.
Yeah.
He's a giving.
Sure,
kind spirit.
And he finally got a partner.
Yeah, I will give you that. It makes sense from a point of view, but I'm meeting you more than halfway. Help put it that way. All right, so those are good, bad, and ugly observations watching Guillermo del Toro's 2025 Frankenstein. But now we're going to do a lightning round because this has taken quite a long time. So I am going to urge you both to let's answer these questions quickly and get the hell out of here, right? So first off, we have 3 questions plus 1 question. The first question out of our 3 questions, which some might call it 4, but I call it 3 plus 1. But the first question is, if you were to replace the entire cast of this movie with Muppets and keeping only one human actor, who would the human actor be?
The creature.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's got to be the creature or Viktor, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep. It's better if it's the creature because then he's just decimating Muppets.
It makes a lot more sense. He's not a creature anymore. He's just a human in a world of Muppets.
Yep.
They're shooting like ping pong balls at him and shit like that, and they're just bouncing off of his chest. All right, lightning round.
So this is the point where non-editing Kelly would drag things out for editing Keith on purpose.
Yes, Keith has never edited an episode this length. I'm just saying that. He doesn't do it on a weekly basis. So let's move on.
We've all answered the question. We have.
All right. So the next question is, what would the promotion of Popcorn Bucket look like?
Well, I suppose allow me to pontificate on the
a rib cage. All right, next question.
I was thinking the one of the big batteries.
Oh
from
yeah,
the lab, maybe.
That sounds wonderful. All right, so who is your?
What's yours? What's your answer, Kelly?
Yeah.
I said a rib cage, an open rib cage where you just reach in and fill it with gummy worms instead of we're doing a rib cage full of gummy worms.
Or one of the, I'm going with one of the caskets.
Oh, with the face like mold that
Yep.
pops off? Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Great.
All right, so the next question is, what is your most valuable part? Could be a person, could be a character, could be an actor, could be the set design, could be the color of the curtains in one scene. But what was your most valuable part? Jamie?
It's production, costuming, set design, production, 100%.
Yeah, mine is a similar vein. Just Mr. Del Toro's vision, I think, is shining through every ounce of this movie, and it's what makes it work.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Guillermo del Toro, too. I think his overall vision kind of brought it all together. That set design is pretty fucking close second, though, because it started as a bad, and it was so fucking...
Yep.
Seeing the behind-the-scenes footage of it, Jesus Christ.
And
Bravo,
honestly,
bravo.
even going with the production as part of it, that's still, he chose those people. That's him at the end of the day. He chose people he'd worked with in the past that had done fabulous jobs, and he knew would communicate his vision. So,
and it felt like he wanted to do this movie his whole career, but it felt like this was probably a good time to do it because now he has all that other experience to draw from.
And the technological tools to do so in a cohesive way.
Wait, didn't he do like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or something?
Nope.
I thought there was a movie around that time that he did.
He did Hellboy is what he did.
That's right. Hellboy. Yeah, and I remember at the time, I think a lot of our criticisms of Hellboy were similar, that everything was beautiful, but it was a little bit lingering in some scenes. He's very, he's indulgent in some of his scenes.
Yeah.
So the last question, and some might say the only question that really matters is, when it comes to Frankenstein 2025, did you enjoy it and would you give it a thumbs up?
You really want to do this? Here. Now? Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's do it!
Yes, despite some of its flaws and its length and yada yada, I think I actually really loved this movie. It's just so visually stunning that I could look at it and be happy at any given moment of it, because just the colors are beautiful, the framing is beautiful, the cinematography. It's an easy thumbs up for me. What about you, Jamie?
I agree. It is a little long. I would not recommend watching it on back-to-back days like I did, because the length really drags at you at that point. But it will be one that I will turn on, just playing in the background while I'm doing things, just so I can watch it, because it is stunning.
Yeah, definite thumbs up.
Perfect.
It's beautiful. It like you said, it lingers a little bit too long, so it's a hard sit if you got to pee, I would imagine. And definitely don't eat it. Don't watch it while you're eating a charcuterie board.
Definitely don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Please don't eat the movie.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Don't eat a charcuterie board while you're watching this movie, because the similarities between what's on your plate and what you're watching on TV might be a bit much. Kind of like you don't watch Seven while you're eating spaghetti. I'll let you figure that out if you don't know.
Oof.
Yeah. So those were our thoughts. 3 thumbs up, so it got a perfect rating. Good job. I think it deserves it. Like, going into it within a half hour in, I was like, this movie's really going to have to fuck things up to not get a perfect rating from us, because already it's brilliant. Good pacing and everything, even early on. It lingered, but overall, definitely worth a watch. If you're listening to our voice and you haven't seen it, and you've gotten this far in the episode, first off, thank you for listening to the whole episode. And secondly, go watch this movie. This was definitely like, out of the recent movies we watched, like Sinners, easy to give that a perfect 3 thumbs up. This one, easy to give it a perfect 3 thumbs up. If you notice, audience, there was no hesitation in our voices at all. All 3 of us just love the shit out of this. So go watch it. I think you'll have a good time with it. And next week, we are coming back with our first episode of the Christmas season, I believe, right?
Screen share all the way, baby.
So we're just doing Jingle All the Way 4 weeks in a row?
No.
Is that what we decided,
4
Jamie?
times. Yes, 4 times.
Elmo is tired. Elmo is annoyed. And Elmo is done.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. It's going to be how many Arnold Christmas movies can we find? Can we shoehorn into a Christmas season?
Does End of Days count? That's more about New Year, but that's close, right?
Hey,
No.
Jamie is like, I think my weeks are going to be opening up now that I free the podcast from my schedule.
It's hard to do a podcast without co-hosts.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is snow in one of those Conan movies, right? That counts.
Yeah, Jamie leaves the podcast and it's just Keith and I sitting here talking about Arnold movies for an hour every week. Like, how fucking boring would that be? All right, well, for Screen Share and Chill, my name is Kelly.
I'm Keith.
And I'm Jamie.
Don't burn anybody's houses down.
Don't eat the movie.
Be nice to the simple creatures.
Yeah, be nice to each other.
And don't eat the movie.
Don't eat the movie.
What did Jerry Spring used to say? Be
Take
good
care
to
of yourselves
and each other.
And the creature, because I will protect him with my life.
Be good to the demon seaman. The seaman demon.
Seaman demon.
Be good to the demon seaman? Oh no.
Excuse me, Commander. If you don't stop this, I'm going to call the police. You go ahead! Call the